All right. Good morning, good people. Let's get right into it. I feel really good today, bro. Just saying that. I feel really good. I really could not. Well, I have one entry, but I don't even want to take it. Um, so bro, I was back testing maybe something like that. That's probably the only thing that I was seeing. Because we closed down, and yes, we did form an SMT. But one thing on my back testing is saying this: instead of just going and looking, oh, there's an SMT here, bears SMT right here, blah 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 blah. It's better for me to spot out a range, and if we close below and I'm looking for buys, it's better to close above that range strongly to solidify the SMT. Okay. So let's say like right here. For me, in my criteria, yes, this is a SMT, but it's only valid whenever we close back above this range. And then I'll be looking to respect the gap or disrespect the gap, somewhere in there, right? So, yep, that's about the only thing that I was seeing today. I feel like what we did was we dumped out, and all we're trying to do is get back to equilibrium, to rebalance. You guys can see this right here. And that's just slapping on one micro with a paper count. Alright, so the main thing today is you guys can see right there, one of my accounts is ineligible to trade. And it won't freaking show my entry. So yesterday what happened was I took a winning trade of, let me see if I can show it on my phone. I had a winning trade yesterday of like 67 pips. I don't think it's going to let me show it. It's not. But dude, check out yesterday. What the fudge? Bro, it's not gonna show my entry. It's probably not gonna let me do it, but anyways, I did not realize that the maximum loss limit, it is always going to be negative 2,000 of where you're at, or where your highest point in the challenge is. So if you were to get up just like I did, I was up 5,100 and $500. So I was up $1,500 on the account, And yesterday, I was in drawdown of like $407 or $408. And it was a part of a winning trade. And so if you were up this, your account could not be under fudge 49. Oh my gosh, bro. So if you were ever up at one point in the challenge, $1,500, you have to subtract 2,000 from that, and that's what your max loss limit was. And so that's what I was getting. That's what I didn't pay attention to. But I see it as, hey, I got 1% better yesterday because I learned this lesson. That's big. I feel like that's what the Lord was trying to tell me, man. He was telling me you got to understand this in order to grow and fully know the rules, whatever. So I had a winning trade yesterday of 67 points, and it ended up hitting. And I still blew my funded account because it went under the max loss limit. So yeah. So with that being said, I'm not really seeing anything today. Nothing really catches my eye. It's probably going to be a quick video. And let me see if I had any notes I was supposed to say. Yeah, you always want to have a plan coming into the day. That's one thing that I feel like I don't implement a lot. If I just come onto the market and just watch. Ooh, I have something, probably a B setup or a C setup, and I take it and I lose. That goes outside of, oh, well, my plan was to come onto the charts, observe the market well, and only take an A+ setup. Well, that goes outside of your rules if you're only taking A+ setups. So last night my back testing, all right, 2 nights ago I was back testing, and I was down $3,500 on FX Replay. Last night I went on and I only back tested maybe 7 or 8 trading days, and I made all that back plus some. And I say that to bring me to a couple of points where I saw mischief in the way that I was trading. And that is this. So my daily bias is very important. My first day back testing, I wasn't even paying attention to this. I didn't have a plan. So as you can see right here, price has now swept this highest wick, and we have closed back inside of the range. Okay, before, let me see. So before the day opened and before we started going on this rally of 50 points up, this right here was down here, somewhere down here. So it looked like a doji candle with a high wick. That does not appeal to me. That's not really what I'm looking for, because what I'm looking for is something like this, right? We come into this day, we sweep the high, we close back into this range, we close lower than the yesterday's wick. And then what happens the next day? We come up to equilibrium of this wick, and then we close back into the range. that gives me huge bearish signature. That gives me huge bearish bias. That's why we went on to 100 pip loss, or almost 100 pips. That could have been a play. That could have been a play. Big downside. 316 point day on when? August 19th. I don't even know what the day is. The 10th. Okay, I don't know. And so from there, I would be looking bearish. Then we come down, we sweep this wick. We stay inside of this previous range, and then we displace higher than this previous day's wick. Okay. So for the visual learners out there, it would look something like this. If you just go to the previous day and you draw out the wicks, it could help you out a lot. So from right here, we take out previous day's low and we close up higher. That would give me bias for bullish signatures. And as you see, we swept up and then we come down. So that would be an inside day, low probability day. That's how you know if a day is high probable or low probable. So then we get the next day. We sweep yesterday's wick and we close inside the range. Okay, so that would give me bullish signature because we took out previous day's low, and then we closed back above this range. All it is we swept this low and we closed above. That gives me bullish, and that's why this next day, what happened? Well, we get some type of doji. We then did not sweep, so we stayed inside of this range, of this wick's range. Bro, this is ball. This is freaking game right here. For those who are watching, this right here is literally my bias, my daily bias. So we stayed inside and we closed inside of this right here. So we closed inside. That would have been another low probable day. So for me, this could have been either or because we just swept previous day's high and we closed back inside. So if you're going off small, regular, and heavy risk, you would probably want to risk from low to regular on this day with probably bullish bias because we're still inside. We still are wanting to take out this high. And we did, 219 point day. All right, so now we're going into next day. We did not take out the high. Instead, we opened high, low, and then we closed right there. So what does that tell me? Well, we just swept previous day's low. I'd probably be looking bearish. If you could not get some type of play in this, you might be a little retarded. I'm just kidding. You might, that's what gives me bias. Okay, we would have been very bearish. But then what did we do? Okay, we closed inside of yesterday's previous wick. Probably some type of news driver or something to sweep out this sell side and this sell side. So now we have swept liquidity, and what does that mean? We are now generating buy side because we have closed inside of yesterday's low. And that's what we did right here. I'll be extremely bullish this day, this day, this day, this day. Okay. 2, possibly take out this right here. This buy side liquidity. All right. If you don't have a daily bias, bro, go to T Trades, okay? Go to this channel right here. Go watch this video right here. This right here is very valuable. He basically saying what I'm saying, but he says it better. That is it. So, so with that being said, that's one thing that I implemented more and more in my back testing. And within 8 days, I was up $3,500 back to break even, whatever. I see it as this: during that session, I was up $3,500 from this and this right here, not forcing a flipping trade. Okay, so if you can't see it on the daily, if something's going on, drop it down to the 12 hour, then drop it down to the 4 hour. So as you can see right here, we swept the previous wick, we closed inside. Okay, I'm seeing that as bullish signature as well, because this is where it can get a little tricky in a day like this. That's why I did not really take a trade today, because I didn't have high probable. I didn't really have a high enough probability to incline me to have a bullish bias. Okay, because if we do that, it can really go either way, because now we are in an inside day, and now if we close above this wick, that would incline me for bullish signatures. Why? Because we took out the high, we closed back in the range. Next day prints. Okay, we have dipped into yesterday's body, and now we are distributing further. Now I would be looking for somewhere up here or previous day's high or low. Because now that can be a new draw. With that being said, that's why you have stuff like this. That's how my lines come out. And the whole thing today, while I was on the charts, was, okay, we're going to come down, and as soon as we do, or really what I want to see is, I want to see us sweep a range, close back inside, and break through this range. All we did was we closed below, hard, created a SMT, we closed back above the range. So now it's validated. It is now validated as a bullish SMT for my criteria. That's why this displacement candle of 16 points right here, 16.75, that's why that could have been an entry for me. Could have been. Still a low probable day. We could have closed down and done some other type of foolishness. But my whole thing was, okay, we're going to come down, and as soon as I saw that, we make the SMT and we close above the range. Okay, I think all we're going to do is come back to equilibrium of this gap, because this candle was 55 points. Or if 32.5 points isn't enough for you on a low probable day, you're probably not seeing something right. Or you could be getting very greedy. And if that's the case, if you don't want to walk away now with 32 points on a low probable day, if you hit take profit 1 and you have a take profit 2, it is best for you to close your take profit, because now you have hit 50% of your take profit margin threshold. So that's how you need to protect yourself on low probable days. Alright? That is freaking ball. That is game right there. That is very, very, very powerful. That's what I go off of. And that's why I'm fixing to run this freaking account up. Because, hey man, you show up every day, you back test. It is constantly revising and editing off of the reps that you get. In trading, you need to get reps. You need to get reps on paper, prop firm, or live capital, whatever floats your boat. Okay? From there, You have to back test and journal. This was my journaling from last night. Or just, this wasn't even journaling. This was just collecting data and whatever. And FX Replay had a bunch of my data, and that was, I take that as journaling, and then whatever I write on here is for real journaling. So it's like this, man. It's like trading is a big marble slab, and for you to come up with a good sculpture of that marble slab, it is constantly, just with your little hammer or whatever, it's like with your little hammer and your little thing, ding, 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 chip, 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 ding, 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 chip, 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 revise and edit, revise and edit. And then you're going to end up coming up with a perfect, beautiful sculpture. But you have to realize, that this stuff is going to take a long amount of time. Dude, trading, becoming a consistently profitable trader is one of the hardest jobs in the world. Okay? And for you to become a part of that 0.7% of profitable traders, consistently profitable traders, and learning that skill, it is going to take time. It is going to take days and hours upon hours for you to have a solidified strategy, which is really only 10% of it. What you're doing is you're building that consistent mindset. In order for you to succeed, that's what it is. It is constant revise and edit, and collect data. Once you then become profitable on your back testing, and you know that you can get this shit, and you know that it works, it is all psychology from there and handling your emotions. Dude, a person with a dumb 40% win rate, a good, profitable, consistently profitable, mindseted person can have a 30% win rate strategy and still come up profitable. No debate, no question about it. And it comes with constantly revising and editing and coming up with this set of rules that will end up turning into that beautiful sculpture. That's what it is. You have to sculpt this craft. You have to go back to the garden analogy, bro. That's one thing that freaking lights me on fire and kills me, is just FOMO. It's like, I gotta have it now, I gotta have it now, I gotta have it now. And when you don't have it, what happens? You spiral and you crash and burn. But I say all that to say this. Backtest and journal and revise and edit constantly. And if you can get 1% better each day, that is a winning day. People get it so misconstrued. If you follow your system and lose properly, that is a winning day. Why? Because you followed your system to the T. You followed your system to the T. Therefore, that is a win. You're not coming on here just to make money. You're coming on here to follow your winning system that you have revised and edited to where it is now profitable. If you get on here and you don't follow your system and you still win $1,500 on the day, that should be a losing day, because that is terrible bad habits. That's the name of this game. That's it. That is it. So today, with all that being said, This is my revised and edited system that I follow. And this was a low probable trade and a low probable day. That's why you did not see me entering this trade today. I showed you guys what could have happened. Okay? I chose not to dive into it today because it was low probable for me. Best case scenario for me, it would have been a 1-to-1 day up of 31 points. And I chose not to participate in these markets today. Okay. If it was a high probable day and my system tells me to do XYZ and I only do XY, that is a losing day. Point blank period. That's why this whole entire market kills people, because it displays this. There's this false narrative of you have to make money or it's a losing day. You have to make money or I want to say what I'm thinking, but that's what it is. You create this system and you revise and edit to follow this system. You have the back testing and journaling to prove that it's profitable. Then follow that. Bro, I'm going to say it again. A losing trade, a part of a winning system, is a win. That is a win for the day. Why? Because you followed your system. There is no one on this earth who is going to win every single day. That is a false narrative. But what you can do is make a system to where you are profitable 60% of the time. And if you follow that and you still lose, that is a winning day. If you follow that and you win, that is a winning day. You did what you're supposed to. Hoorah. Doesn't matter how much you made. Doesn't matter at all. Follow your freaking system. So that's what I have to say for today. It's already about 10:30. I'm going to upload this video for you guys. This is great psychology. You guys, this is my daily bias in here, and this is the thoughts that I just told you. That's why I'm going to make it. Because I come home and after a 7.5 hour work shift or after a 10.5 work shift on the weekends, I'm going to come home and I'm going to constantly revise and edit. If you revise and edit in silence when no one is around you and you are in your freaking element, you get what I'm saying? You are in that zone. Doing that and catching more, just consistently doing more reps, following that system more and more and more and more is going to lead you to be dominant. Once you become dominant, it is going to pay you. That's how you win. That's how you take this. That's how you win this game. All right. So that was it for today. I'm not looking for anything else. That I feel like I just gave you guys all I had. I'm never gonna be a fraud. I'm never gonna be a phony, and that's why I want to come on here and just serve as a token for you guys to learn off of my mistakes and gain knowledge from me, because that's the knowledge that I've gained, and those are the mistakes that I constantly make, and I'm never ever gonna be scared of showing them, and I'm never ever going to hold some type of information, because it is so beautiful. And dude, I freaking know how it feels to lose and lose and lose. Gosh, what's this guy's name? I forgot his name. But he said this is how it was for him. You work, see no results. Alright? You show up the next day. Work, still see no results. Work. Well, you see something. You learn something. Dang, you really messed up. Alright? You show up the next day, work, bam, you become successful. You come up here and you lose your freaking ass and you learn from it. I'm going to start saying this, man, because it is very true. Drew Hall is undefeated in the markets. Why is that? because I learn something from every single loss. I've never lost on the markets. I've never ever lost on these markets because I'm constantly growing and constantly learning from a win, from a bad win, from a loss, or a terrible loss. I'm going to win because I'm going to figure out the good and bad and what I need to cut out and what I need to take in and digest to advance. I'm just on one today. I'm feeling really good, and that's going to be the video. I feel like this is great information for you guys. Please just keep going and keep showing up because you guys are great and you guys can do this. If a college dropout like me can come this far, there's no reason why I can't come further. Pause. But there's no reason why I can't make it further, alright? You guys have a great day. Go take a nap. Go to the gym. Go do whatever you have to do. Eat good food. Diet. Whatever. External daily habits. Stick to it. Stick to your system that you've made outside of these markets to become the better person and become the best you possible. Let's freaking go, man. I'm telling you, you are only one decision away from becoming profitable. You are only one decision away from becoming profitable. Okay? So that was the trade that could have happened. Whatever, man. That's the video. You guys have a great day. Peace out.